Good morning, beloveds. Okay, so I'm having the week. I don't know. Yesterday, so Sunday, my trainer called out because he's sick. All right, fine. We were exhausted. We went back to bed. Yesterday, it was pouring when the alarm went off. So my husband turned the alarm off and we went back to bed. This morning, it wasn't raining. So the alarm, and I got up and I wasn't anywhere near ready to go, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to go for that walk. And I'm in the bathroom and I hear it. And it started raining. And it basically rained from 7 to 8, which is the sweet spot for us to go for a walk. So I was like, okay, fine. So instead, what I did was I emptied another box from the closet that we emptied out. So the box is gone. The books that were in the box, some of them are going to be donated. A couple of them went into another box and the rest of them went on a bookshelf. So I thought I walked into the green room. It's literally green. I painted it apple green. I don't know what I was thinking. And looked at all the books in there and went, I really need to go through these books. So, yeah, I've had a productive morning, even though I didn't get to exercise. So I'm hoping that your day is as productive as mine. We got a 60% chance of rain because it legit just rained all day yesterday. Today, it looks like if you're north of I-10, you're going to get a fair amount of rain. And today, I don't know. Oh, the weather. But it's the end of January. This is what it does in January and February. It rains. It's dark. It's gloomy. It rains. But, all right, it is January 23rd. Our title is The Open Door. Our author is Norah Boyd. And this is from Science of Mind, May of 2000. All right, and she starts off with a quote. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. Revelations 3:8. The doorway of the Absolute stands open at the center of our intuitive perception. From the Science of Mind text, page 112. Do we fully appreciate what the word absolute means? It is important that we do. When we read certain words frequently, we sometimes don't register their true value. If we are to understand God's spiritual laws, we must realize and thoroughly grasp the fact that absolute means forever. Never changing, something that is and always will be. During meditation, we enter the absolute and forsake the relative. In other words, we enter that which is invincible, certain, and never failing. We leave behind the ever-changing, uncertain, and unpredictable things of the relative world. This is where we enter into the security of God's provision. Here, God's love and care are forever. Here, God's creative laws are completely dependable. Here, we can rest safely and use God's laws in full confidence. Raymond Charles Barker said, the answer to every problem is in our knowledge of God and in our ability to let divine ideas lead us to the correct solution. We have knowledge of God when we understand the absolute. When our faith and trust are strong, we go through the door to all the richness of life that is available to us. Our knowledge and faith are the means by which we knock on the door. Our knock opens the door and we enter into the special place of security, love, peace, and plenty of which we have been dreaming. The more I dwell upon the absolute, the stronger grows my faith. As the door opens, I enter in with joy and thanksgiving. I feel that at last I am coming home. So there's a couple of things in there, and I'm going to have to sort them out in my mind. First off, language matters. Language matters a lot. And I said that yesterday because I started to say I have to, and then I said, no, I get to. Language absolutely matters. And it is important that we understand what the words mean when we use them. There's a meme going around right now where it's just a paragraph of misused words where people use a word that doesn't quite, it doesn't mean what you think it means. And so when you read them all in together, I won the English award 4 years in a row in high school. I'm okay at English, So, and I love words. I love to read, which is why I have a fairly extensive vocabulary. I don't always show it off because I also want to be understood. So words matter, language matters. And it's really important that when we use words that we know what they mean. And not from that English, perspective, but so that we can get the feeling. That's what's really important with the words. And that's one of the reasons why saying I have to do something versus I get to do something, the feeling is different. There's a sense of when I say I have to do something. Yet when I say I get to do something, there's an excitement in that. So the feelings around words are important. And that's one of the reasons why when we say feel free to use, our words, and if our words don't resonate with you, change the words. Use words that evoke feeling for you, that bring up feelings, that make you feel things. That's where our power is. Jesse said it on Sunday. Your thoughts, if it's just a thought, it'll go nowhere. And if it's just a feeling, it'll go everywhere. But when you wrap thoughts with feelings, then you go where it is that you want to go, right? Feelings are messy. Straight up, feelings are messy. And that's okay. Feelings, that's the power of feelings. They're messy. But they have power behind them to push you into. And so when your feelings are undirected by thought, then they absolutely are messy. But when you can coordinate your thoughts and your feelings together, then the thoughts have the feeling gives the thought the power to get you where you want to go. And that's the power of science of mind. It's the reminder of how powerful our feelings are. It's one of those things where I want to remind you that anger is a feeling. It is an emotion. And it can be an extraordinarily powerful emotion. And so when you are caught up in anger, you want to make sure that you are using that power, and I'm going to use the word correctly, usefully, in a way that makes a change that will then reduce your anger, because anger in and of itself will eat you alive. If you don't do anything with that anger, it will straight up eat you alive. But if you go out and you use that anger to make changes in the world to reduce your anger, then you see the power that anger. So, anger is not a bad thing. Now, the other thing is she uses that evolution. I want to talk about the door for a minute. When we do treatments, when we pray in the present tense, and we pray as if we already have it. Okay. And she makes the point in there, when we go through that door into the absolute, we're in God's territory. Okay. We are in Spirit's territory. We are in the divine mind. We are in the divine nature, and nothing can be wrong there. Nothing can be wrong there. That is where everything that is in alignment with the divine nature, with the divine mind, exists. All of the good exists there. All of the good that could ever exist, has ever existed. That's where it is. It is, or as we like to call it, the unseen. Okay. So when we treat, that's where we go. And that's why we use those words as if nothing has ever been wrong. Because in that place, which is not a locality, as Ernest says, but we don't have a way there aren't words to describe that place, which is why we use the word place. It's a substitute word, and it's a poor substitute, but it is what we've got, right? in that divine nature, when we walk through that door into the absolute in treatment, that place, nothing has ever been wrong. Nothing can ever be wrong. That's why when we do treatment, we speak that way. We speak as if it has never been. Whatever it is that we're working on, we speak as if it is exactly this. It is, and no other way. Because in that place, we can use God's laws. Because and we can use them with confidence, as she says in there. We can use them with confidence. And then we come back to this world, to the material, the relative is what she calls it, the relative versus the absolute, the relative versus the absolute. So when we come back to this world and we go, oh, this world is messy because things are constantly coming into form and going out of form. Now, when I say messy, I'm not using messy as a bad thing. Messy isn't a bad thing. It's just not exactly the way we would want it. Okay? And maybe it is. But messy isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means changing. And we don't like change. And yet, that's what we are. We are constantly in flux. We are constantly changing. I mean, from one day to the next, my hair doesn't look the same. It's like my hair was put on my head to remind me that I can't do all things, So, there's no amount of hair products that would tame this. And so it's a good reminder that the relative world is that way. And it's okay because it's an experience. And if we are not having a preferred experience, then what do we need to do to change it? And some of it is to get to know the absolute. It's being willing to walk through that door. Being willing to walk through that door and confront the absolute. To stand in the presence of the absolute and declare your truth. And it sounds scary, but it's not. It's not. And yet it is. And I get that, I told you I wasn't afraid of God, and I'm not. But to walk through that door and stand in the presence of the absolute, there are no words. There are no words. Any word I could use would be a poor substitute. But it is what we are called. It is what we are called to do. And we are called to do it on a regular basis. That is the point of regular spiritual practice. To screw up our courage and walk through that door and stand in the presence of the absolute on a regular basis. And to declare our truth. To use those laws in that place where they work the best. We use those laws all the time. All the time. Everybody uses those laws all the time. The more conscious use we make of those laws, the better our results will be. And here we are. All right. I'm not sure that I have done her justice. I hope that I have done her justice. I think this is a fantastic essay, and it should go on people's reading list more often. Norah Boyd, and this is from the 2009 Science of Mind magazines. There's good stuff in there. Our knowledge and faith are the means by which we knock on the door. Our knock opens the door, and we enter into the special place of security, love, peace, and plenty of which we have been dreaming. The more I dwell upon the absolute, the stronger grows my faith. As the door opens, I enter in with joy and thanksgiving. I feel that at last I am coming home. Revelation said, "Behold, I set before thee an open door, and no man shall shut it." Okay? Why do we have to knock on the door? The door's not shut. Same reason why we have to ask God for things. It signals our willingness to enter. The only door that's in that doorway is the one we put there ourselves. Knock on the door. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to knock on that door to the absolute and realize that there was never a door there in the first place. The way is open. It always has been. There is nothing between you and the absolute. There is nothing between you and God. There is nothing between you and spirit. There is nothing between you and the divine mind. There is nothing between you and the divine nature. You are the divine nature. You're just having a human experience that the divine nature couldn't have without you. So, that's the mission today, should you choose to accept it. Jesse says, stand before the divine nature and ask it to show you who you are. Ask it to show you who it is. Try it. Try it and watch what happens in your life. All right, beloveds. That is the mission today, should we choose to accept it. The other mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is the spiritual practice of self-care. To do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Be it one thing, be it three things, be it all the things. In the end, that is the goal, to make all the things that you do loving, kind, and compassionate. Okay? Especially the hard things. All things for yourself and others. My easiest suggestion, or my basic suggestions, my jumping off points, take a deep breath before you speak. Honestly, that is the best and most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself or others. It is easier to not say it than to make amends for something you didn't mean to say. Take the deep breath. And you will never talk to anybody more than you talk to yourself. So, speak lovingly, kindly, and compassionately to yourself. And if you find yourself not, then dig into why not. My self-talk is what sent me into therapy one time. And it was extraordinarily helpful. Try it. You might like it. Both watching yourself talk and therapy. I'm a big believer in therapy. It's very helpful. Okay. Take a walk, take a nap, take a break. I'm missing my walks. I'm just like, but I was productive this morning, so helpful. Get the blood moving, get the oxygen flowing, or walk away from a situation. It means more than one thing. Take a nap. Sometimes the best thing we can do is the human equivalent of turning ourselves off and turning ourselves back on again. It works for electronics. It'll probably work for you too. And then take a break. Sometimes when we're stuck, we just need to walk away from something and do something else for a little while. Or nothing for a little while. Nothing is on the table too. We don't have to be, grinding 24/7. We can't. We need to rest, and get a new perspective on things. That's what take a break means. Walk away, get a new perspective, come back when you're ready. Okay. And there's bunches of other things. Occasionally I'll remind you that sometimes the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself and others is to say no. And remember that no is a complete sentence. That's all you have to say. And sometimes saying yes is the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself and others, especially if it's something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Because trust me, what you want is just on the other side of your comfort zone. So, all right. Also, eat dessert first. I do believe that chocolate is the first step to fixing anything. So there's that. But more importantly, don't save the good stuff. 1, your life is a special occasion. And 2, don't wait for a special occasion. Make the occasion special. Make the occasion special. All right, beloveds. I'm also going to remind you about joy. Joy is a quality of God. We've been talking about the absolute, but joy is a quality of the divine mind, the divine nature. That means it's a quality of you too. No matter what is going on in the world, if we're going to talk about the relative world, this messy and constantly changing and in flux world that we live in, no matter what is going on in that world, no matter what is going on in your life, you still deserve joy. So please make room for it. All right, beloveds. The rest of the suggestions are basic and easy. Do something to engage your mind and body unless the weather is getting in the way, i.e., I don't know what this week. It's just going to rain all week. I don't know what I'm going to do. I may get super productive in the house then. Hydrate, drink plenty of water. Your brain works better, your skin looks better, your body works better when you're well hydrated. Water is super important. And it's important at the height of the winter as it is at the height of the summer because you're dehydrated. But in summer because you're sweating, and in the winter it's because the heat's running and that air is dry and it's just sucking the moisture out of you. Drink plenty of water, okay? Get that early in your day bright light. I don't know when we're going to see the sun again. So, there's that. Yeah. So, artificial light does work, but if you are not getting the support you need from the lights in your house, Google sun lamp or seasonal effect disorder light. Okay. They're not expensive. Don't spend a whole lot of money on them, but they can be extraordinarily helpful, especially during the shorter parts where the day's the shorter part of the year, in the winter. All right. And then, I guess I meant my Ernest Holmes quote. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you do live in heaven right here, right now. Now, we've been talking about doorways, right? A doorway where there is no door. There's no door. Okay. So why do we have to open the windows of our soul? Well, because we can create illusions and shut them all. So when I say open the windows of our soul, allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you do live in heaven. It reminds me of two things. One, it's all God. Everywhere we look, it's all God. We're all made from the same stuff. We're all made of the same photons and quarks and neutrons and positrons and electrons. We are literally electrons dancing. So, and I just love the idea of that. We're all made of the same stuff, right? But the other thing that reminds me of is heaven isn't a place, or as Ernest Holmes says, heaven is not a locality, okay? It is not a place we have to get to. It's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness, okay? Once we learn to create that state of consciousness for ourselves, any place can become heaven. And that right there is amazing. I mean, just mind-blowing, stun you into silence when you think about it. And those people. Those people who walk around in heaven all the time. And it's not that their life is perfect, but they bear everything with a reasonable mood. They know that even if things are going wrong right now, they'll go right again. Those are the people you want to be around. Those are the people we all want to be around, but those are the people we want to be. Once we learn to create heaven for ourselves, we become a safe space in this world. In this messy and changing world, we become a safe space. Try it. You might like it. And if you want to create that mindset, Emma Curtis Hopkins, look for the good and praise it, which is a fancy way of saying count your blessings. Okay. Gratitude works when you are grateful for, especially the little things. Look for the little, like I am thrilled that there is one more box that is out of my closet and flattened down and going somewhere else, one more. So it's good. And I'm happy about that. And all right, I need to move on. Count your blessings. Where am I? I guess I'm at the social media part where I remind you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I commend them to you, especially the YouTube channels. There are hours of content, pretty much anything you could want between the two channels. You can find. So please, take a look out for that. If you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. And then that way you'll know what's going on when I don't. And the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want or the person that can help you get. So that's really good. And it's only one email a week. It's a real person doing it. You didn't have time for that. Okay. I guess I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an amazing day, an awesome day. A open that door day. Walk through that door day, a being willing to stand in the absolute day, a loving day, a kind day, a compassionate day, a try something different day, a bundle up against the rain day, a go dance in the rain day, stay away from the lightning day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call it, you're a godling. All right? In whom God is well pleased and well represented. You teach you teach people about the God of your understanding through your words and actions, whether you mean to or not. Be aware of that. All right, beloveds. I feel like there was something else I was supposed to say. Yeah. Peel back the layers of who you think you are and get to know who God knows you to be. There's that. Okay. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.